I got the most interesting comment yesterday. It was a hate comment, but it's a conversation we finally need to be having. So this person was calling me all sorts of things. Schizophrenic was one of them. And it's a great opportunity to acknowledge who the real schizophrenics are of society, right? Just because awareness and consciousness being fundamental is being brought up and someone is willing to go through the mechanics, I would call that person a pioneer, or somebody who's like exploring and adventuring, willing to be wrong. But a lot of these people that are so bothered and they won't have like a proper argument with you, they won't really know what they're arguing about. They have this idea of intelligence having a look or a sound. This is why Shivoham Labs' cosmology has such relational language, because I think a lot of people can hide behind symbols and big words, you know? So maybe these people are excellent at performing in their math class, science classes, but it's a lot of plug and chug. Not all of these people will dare to venture into the why of why something exists, or take the time to infinitely slow things down. So here's the thing about the cosmos. It's not, to gain expertise, it's not going to be measuring the distance between my Trump hands. It's not measuring the distance in between planets, or, you know, what gamma ray bursts happen here. It will become a game of consciousness. And the reason I call it a meritocracy is that information is actually protected. Okay, your consciousness has to be at a particular place to ingest this information. You must surrender to what feels like absolute chaos and madness, but just trust that you're being guided on this path, and that you are a unique translator or transmitter. What's really going on is that the majority of society is on one big acid trip. This Maya, they are all on one big acid trip. And if you are neurodivergent, what the fuck does that word even mean? Like, at some point, I'm starting to notice that if you just have a way of thinking differently and a personality, they just label you as something else. Is that not like a problematic thing to consider? Because just it's less about what they say, just think about how they embody their philosophy, how they live their lives. So people that are open-minded to these new things, like, they're generally wanting to be one with everyone. They want to be really happy. And the people who have such a huge problem, and it's so funny because, like, atheists will say something to you, and I was a hardcore atheist. I was also a hardcore religious person, so like I know that when I'm talking to all these people, I'm just meeting myself at different points of space-time, so I know exactly how to think about this sort of stuff. But religious people, they're the ones who are so funny, because they're religious, yet they have the audacity to tell me what I'm looking at is bullshit or hocus pocus. Like, the jokes just write themselves in the collective. You've deeply calcified this reality, and a lot of these people, if you give them anything, they'll just eat it. They'll consume it, right? There's very few people in the world that are free thinkers, independent thinkers, and that are willing to build. So creating division online, putting people down, that's easy. That'll get you likes, that'll get you whatever. Meanwhile, building is hard. This is why my forever affirmation is don't debate, out-create. When people want to look smart rather than being smart, they're looking for that instant gratification, not only from members of society, but particular establishments and institutions. I also feel like if you're going to be that condescending, and I would think this too, because I experienced this as a young adult woman growing up, high school, college, and stuff, from other guys, when I would try to wrap my mind around a concept, no one seemed to like explain it ever to me, but they would just keep laughing at me, and I'm like, well, I guess if they're condescending, they must really know and understand something, right? But you need to look no further than someone's like actual life and how they embody their philosophy. I think that'll really reveal what they truly do or don't understand. This is what I like to call a party trick. These things are really great. They provide instant gratification. They make you feel good about yourself, but there's no meaningful impact you've created in society. So take a look at something like an iPhone, kind of bringing that up to a caveman. Yeah, they're gonna call you schizophrenic. That's totally true. And if you think about the impact on society, some people only want impact on one specific group. What's so interesting is, like, it doesn't matter where you fall in your belief system, in your political affiliation, your race, your gender, your sexual orientation. Many of these people will own an iPhone. That's impact. That's power. That's influence. That's how you can spread to a collective. When people are able to create something where the existence itself is the contrast, that thing is such a powerful alternative that people have no choice but to go into that. I just think it's very interesting that when you try to be a pioneer of something and you are very open online on breaking things down and you work super hard, you just think differently, and a lot of it aligns with being like happy or creating a better world, people feel the need to put you down. What's really fascinating is when they bring up psychiatry, not understanding that psychology is the spotlight of the flashlight of cosmology and consciousness at work, and the divine play Leela that's happening in the whole process of light coming out. And then the on and off switch is the whole concealing, revealing aspect of Tantra. This is once again what I mean. Did they even bother to ask where these concepts come from? Did they even understand how they came to be, what the roots and origins are? Are they willing to infinitely slow things down? That's the difference. The people that really want to speed up, you'll miss the opportunity to get the sweet nectar of knowledge. Those who are willing to infinitely slow things down, you are more likely to be exposed to deep cosmic truths. And it is a meritocracy, right? So I don't hide behind anything in my cosmology, and I know there's still intense topics, but if you at least can get on board with what I'm saying and at least see it, you don't have to subscribe to everything. I don't care about you doing that. Think for yourself, right? But if you can at least see that, then I know that you are on the path. And then people who entirely reject it and then call me a schizophrenic, to me, I see that as the equivalent of like going to explain calculus to a baby and the baby telling me I'm stupid because it didn't understand it.